Okay, so out of the 1,000 things I need to do to this car, we decided to go ahead and do the glass since we already got the pulley kit in. And what I wanted to do was hang the front end, you know, core support, fenders and all that, but I had to do this first because it's easy access. I was about to hang my core support, but I was like, man, let me go ahead and do this glass since nothing's in the way right now. So today is glass day. I got my son helping me, Elijah. Thank you for your help, son. We got the gasket. And again, we're gonna use the string method like we always do. So we can go ahead and get this started. All right, we got the front glass in. It took us a couple tries because the channel where the string goes is really wide and the string was just coming out of the channel. So that gave us a little bit of trouble. But after we figured that out, what we did is we just taped on the inside of the channel in a few different areas so the string wouldn't fall out, and it did the trick. So we took it on and off once or twice? Twice. Just to fix the string issue, and everything seems to be sitting pretty good. Looks great. This is my original glass, so I'm happy about that. Didn't have to buy a new one, and I've always liked the idea of the original glass because this is the exact same thing people saw through, you know, back in the 50s. So I think that's pretty cool. So now we're gonna move on to the back glass. I gotta go dig it out and clean it. I had to clay bar this thing twice, and then right now we just we hit it again with the clay bar just to finish up a few little pieces. But it's done now. I'm excited. Happy to see that it's starting to look like a car now. So we're gonna go ahead and move on to the back and we'll bring it back. All right, we're set up to go ahead and put in the back glass. I want to show you guys the clips. There's 2 clips on each side. There's here and here. I always mark the clips on the outside with tape. That way when you put your stainless on, you know where to press in and it'll snap in. There's 6 across the top. And these have a slot for them right here. As you can see, on each side, the steel is doubled up. It's doubled up here, and then right here is like a slot. So it's like that where the clips go. On every single one, there's only a single sheet metal. So there's 6 across the top and 2 on each side. Gotta make sure to put in the clips. The front doesn't have any clips. That's why I didn't talk about that over there. So here's 1, and here's 2. So we're gonna go ahead and drop this in now. You can't always post the good. Sometimes you gotta post the bad. So the rear glass was a fail. Here it is. Blaming this junky gasket. It wouldn't seal. It was too short. So the edges would seal pretty nice and the corners, but man, we had a big old gap here in the middle. And the flange here, the pinch weld, the channel wasn't even reaching to go over it. So it was short here and it was short there. I just could not get it to work. Me and my son messed with this thing for about 2 hours, which is some pretty funny footage, but just could not get it to work. So I ordered a new gasket from Steel Rubber. Steel Rubber claims to be the most factory correct gaskets made. So they're made in USA, should be in about 3 days. But until then, since we got the front glass in, I'm gonna go ahead and put in the trim that goes up there, put in my auto eye, and put in these knee knockers. I took my steering wheel out because I needed to put the firewall pad on the bottom. So last time I did this, I forgot to put the firewall pad before everything else, and I had to kind of cut it up, and I really didn't want to do that. So I'm gonna do that next. I'm gonna put in that firewall pad and then put my steering wheel back on, and we're just gonna keep going with assembly. I don't know what else. I'm gonna do the front end now. I can put in my core support and my fenders, but I think I'm gonna leave that for another video. So I'm gonna finish up this dash and polish up some stainless. I got a whole pile of stuff everywhere. Yesterday I was looking for this top roof stainless so I can match up the clips, you know, where they belong. And I found every single piece of stainless for this car except for that one. So I figured I'd buy another one until I saw the price of buying another one. So that made me look harder, and I found it. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and polish the pieces that go around here. There's 4 pieces. Wait, let me think. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then these 6. There's 6 pieces. I'm gonna go ahead and get those polished up. That way, when I set the glass in, I can go ahead and move forward with that. I have to polish the doors, stainless, which none of the stainless on this car is bad, but it needs to be restored because it has, you know, light scratches from cleaning it or washing it, or for just from the years, you know, it's just scratched up. So you don't want to put scratch stainless on a fresh finish. That's a big no-no. But yeah, I gotta keep moving forward here. So let me get this done and I'll bring y'all back. So here we go with the dash. I got my knee knockers on, which I'm gonna have to take these off again when I put this aluminum trim back on. But that's on. I got my auto eye on. You can see all that is nice and painted. And I got my trim that goes up against the glass installed. It has a little buckle here in the middle, with the correct stainless screws, brand new. I always thought this was a weird design because all in the middle right here, it's recessed pretty much, and then it comes up over here on top of the dash, and then here to the knee knocker. So maybe that was an afterthought, but it would look better if the whole thing was recessed and not have a little bit of a gap right here. I could screw this down a little more, which I will. It'll close that gap some, but these are gonna have to come off again. So whenever I put this stainless back on and this corner piece that holds the speaker, the carpet and all that, then I'll tighten these. But that's it for the dash. That is good. I was waiting for my bushings for the core support. So these are not regular bushings or regular style bushings for this core support because I recessed the nuts that hold it. So the design is a little bit different. So typically you would see something with a square, you know, so it'll keep from turning. But in this case, I don't need it. All I needed was the 2 rubbers. And then I got my own washer and bolt for the top. I did paint, base coat and clear coat my core support. The only thing I did to it, let me see. I got it powder coated, and then I body worked the top of it before base and clear, and the front of it right here. I did weld up, actually, this whole top piece, I molded it in and welded it. There's a nut that goes here for the battery hold down. I want to make my own custom battery hold down. So that's why I welded that up. It's about right here. And then this, I just capped it off. I welded it, molded all this in before powder coat. When I got it back from powder coat, I body worked the top and the front. And then I scuffed the rest and then base coat and clear coated it. So it's exactly the way I wanted it. Nice and smooth up top, super glossy. And I did the same to the fender wells. I'm not gonna do that yet. or I'm not gonna install the fender wheels yet. What I am gonna do next is this hole. I already drilled a hole from the inside. This hole right here is right in the center of the vent that it had before. So this is the pilot hole. I'm gonna use a hole saw, and it calls for a 2.5 inch hole saw. And what I'm gonna do is install this piece right here. This is gonna be for the heater hoses and the AC hoses for the vintage air setup. This is part of the Easy Clip hose setup that they have now. Here is the part number. It's AC bulkhead part number right there, 200011. And it's a 2-piece billet. Just gonna go right here, just like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and drill this hole first. It did come with a template, a template with the magnets, and I just lost a magnet. Here it is. Looks like it came out of it. So it just kind of gives you an idea of where you need to put it. So in this case, it's gonna be right here. Boom, just like that. So I'm gonna run the hoses from here, the vintage air kit under the dash, hoses from here this way to the water pump, that's for the heater, and then I'm gonna have 2 right here for the AC. So here, and then right over the fender. Unfortunately, the 59 doesn't have any space under the fender, so you have to run it over. So I'm gonna go ahead and get set up to cut this hole and get this installed. All right, well there it is. Again, I called for a 2.5 inch hole saw. Here's a bracket. There we go. Goes over like this. And the other part goes over it. I'm probably gonna have to tape this so I can hold it. Okay, there it is. I just taped it so I can hold it. Here's the piece that goes in it. Like that. And this goes in the back to hold everything in place. It did come with a lock nut, which is right here. So I'm gonna go in the inside of the car and then install this and get it nice and tight. And this will be done. All right, forgive my arm, I'm a little shaky because I'm laying down in here, but I did want to show you the inside of this. This pocket is pretty big. It looks small in the video, but I was actually able to stand the drill straight and then make the hole on that in the middle point right there. So this is the factory hole for the blower motor. Let me get a little closer, excuse me. There we go. So this, what looks like light gray, is the factory hole of the blower motor. And like I said, I was able to stand up the drill and then just drill a hole right in the center. And then once that was done, you know, I used the hole saw on the outside just to finish up the hole. So that's done. These Easy Clip hoses, they're very, very flexible. And I'm thinking I'm gonna make 2 holes here and then connect them to the box right here, to the vintage air box. I am gonna have to make a hole on this. You see it here. When the time's come to install it, I'm gonna make 2 holes here, and then I'm gonna put a rubber grommet on it. These are obviously not factory. They're for some 6.5 speakers that I bought, and I got them wrapped in the same vinyl as the interior, so it's gonna match pretty nice once everything's said and done. I think I'm gonna have to make a little bit, cut a little bit of this metal out on the inside for the magnet of the speaker. But yeah, there is that. Easy money. That's done. Let me see what's next. All right, so what's next on this car is the fenders. Now that I got my bushings for the core support, that's up. I'm gonna put both fenders on completely 100% installed, and that's gonna be the end of this video. I did put that piece of stainless on. I polished it. It's excellent, but I did see some pitting on it, so I really didn't want to show it. I never saw the pitting before because I was really never looking for imperfections, you know, on a factory paint job or nothing. But and I really don't know how these things got here, but right on top of here, you see how that looks right there? It has a little bit of pitting on the stainless, which I don't know how much the camera, you see it right there? I'm gonna have to block those down. I'm thinking they'll come out with 180 grit and then work my way all the way to 600. So I've been sanding everything with 600 and then straight to compound and then polish. And it looks great. It came out really good, mirror finish. But this right here, I'm not happy with it. And it's only right there. And I don't see how stainless could pit like that. Maybe some sort of chemical, maybe. I don't know, but I'm gonna fix it. But yeah, next up is the fenders. So I'm gonna go ahead and get set up, get my son in here so he can help me, and I'll bring y'all back.